Can Carson Wentz lead the Indianapolis Colts to a playoff berth in the 2021 NFL season? Before we get into it real fast, I just want to say welcome to the JW Sports Talk Show. And if you do enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like and hit the subscribe button. But let's get right into it. First off, I want to say, there's a lot of people saying that Carson Wentz is mad about the Colts picking Sam Ehlinger. That is simply not true. He is not mad because, why would he be mad when we literally invested a second, possibly going to become a first, and a third-round pick for Carson Wentz. And people think Sam Ehlinger is going to come in and compete for a starting job. No, he is not. He's going to compete with Jacob Eason for the backup job. So now let's get back into it. I want to say, first off, he definitely is in a much better situation with the Colts than he was with the Eagles. The Colts, they have much better O-line, so he's not going to get hit as much. He has a much better running back group in Nyheim Hines, Jonathan Taylor, Marlon Mack, and Jordan Wilkins, all very capable guys. And then you have the receivers, a lot of young receivers that can potentially show out next year. You have Michael Pittman Jr., who had a really solid rookie season last year. You have Paris Campbell, who has had the injury bug. Hopefully he can get on the field and stay healthy. And then you have, Zach Pascal, you have T.Y. Hilton, all four really capable receivers of, making big plays and, making a big play at a crucial time. All receivers are capable of doing that. So, I'm excited for that. I'm excited for the offense. I'm excited for Carson Wentz to come in. He doesn't have to be a hero. He doesn't have to come in and be a top 10 quarterback. He doesn't have to come in and be a hero. All he has to do is come in and make big plays when they're needed. He's not going to be, carrying the team. He doesn't need to do that. All he needs to do is make big plays when needed. He has the guys around him to do that. And he has an amazing supporting cast to really help him do so. I think he could have, a similar season to Philip Rivers last season, but he also gives another element to the offense that Philip Rivers didn't give. Last season we really struggled in the red zone, and our offense was very predictable. When you had DeMichael Harris out there, you knew they were running, something like a sweep with him or something. And then if you have Nyheim Hines in there, they thought you were gonna pass it, they really thought you were gonna pass it. And then if you had Jonathan Taylor, teams really thought you were gonna run it. It was very, very difficult to have an offense that is not predictable. Because of Philip Rivers, he couldn't move at all, as we all know. Philip Rivers cannot move. But Carson Wentz has a little more of an ability to move. And, all it takes is Carson Wentz. Now teams really have to respect the Nyheim Hines being able to run and Nyheim Hines catching the ball in the backfield, as they always have to. Jonathan Taylor, they'll have to respect him in both. They'll have to respect Marlon Mack in both, most likely. Even though I think Marlon Mack will be more of a running back. A running back. I don't think he's really going to be like a pass down guy. That's for Nyheim and Taylor mostly. But, having those two-back sets with Taylor and Mack can be deadly. And then you can maybe have Nyheim Hines in the slot, or DeMichael Harris. And you have them motion, fake to him, maybe. And then you turn it into option. Does Wentz have to toss it back to, Taylor or Mack? There's so many possibilities that this team has with Carson Wentz. And then people thought we were gonna go out and sign a guy in Curtis Samuel. No, we have plenty young receivers, and we have our own Curtis Samuel. We have Nyheim Hines, who is very versatile, just like Curtis Samuel. We have DeMichael Harris, who's just like him as well. Maybe not as good, but DeMichael Harris is still very capable of doing, and making big plays. People are really underrating the receiver group that the Colts have. People are saying, oh, the Colts need a receiver. Colts need to go sign a receiver now. They need to go draft a receiver, but they didn't need that. They have very young and capable guys of, making a play and making plays in big times on third and longs, on second and longs, on first downs to get first downs, on fourth down to get first downs and make a big game-changing play. Every single player on this offense is capable of that. And then you have the tight ends. You have Big Mo, you have Jack Doyle, and you have Kylan Granson, I think his name is. Kylan Granson, the newly acquired from the draft. I think he's going to be a very solid tight end for the Colts. I think people are a little mad about that pick. A lot of people are mad about the draft in general since we didn't draft a tackle. But, we'll find something for the tackle. Trust the process and Chris Ballard. But Kylan Granson, he's kind of like a Trey Burton, but he's a little more athletic, and he can't really block, but he's a little more athletic and can create more separation than Trey Burton. So this, I definitely see why Frank Reich and Chris Ballard will want to get this guy, because he's similar to Trey Burton, and Frank Reich would be all over a guy like that. Does this put the Zach Ertz talk to rest? Maybe. I could still see it a thing. If the Colts or if the Eagles release Zach Ertz, maybe Zach. I really think Zach Ertz would go to the Colts for very cheap. Because he would go to play with Carson, he would go to play with Frank, and it's a great team overall. But if he comes in, does that leave the door open to a surprising cut in Jack Doyle? A lot of people were talking about that might be a surprising cut. And, if Zach Ertz is brought in, I can see them cutting Jack Doyle. It would suck because he's been here for quite some time with Andrew Luck, with, Jacoby Brissett. He's been here. You're really going to miss him because he's been in the franchise for quite some time. He's really, really underappreciated, not just within the Colts fans, but in the whole NFL. He's not a spectacular tight end. He's not crazy. But, he's a very solid guy that gets the job done. He's really solid at everything, but he's not great at anything. He's a very solid pass catcher. He's a very solid run blocker. He's a very solid route runner. Good hands. There's nothing bad that he has with his game. It's very solid. And then you go to Mo Cox. He has definitely improved on his run blocking. He's a good run blocking tight end. Excited to see what he has in store because he has those huge hands and he's huge. He could really make those big contested catches. I'm excited to see him. And then I forgot to mention, how Carson Wentz likes his big targets. I think Michael Pittman is really going to thrive this year with Carson Wentz because of that. Carson Wentz is going to love that, and Pittman's going to love that, and the rest of this offense with Frank Reich, everyone's going to love it. And back to the thing before with the Carson Wentz, running and having more mobility. With having that mobility, all it takes is a plant that, this is credit to Richard Sherman when I heard him on the Chris Collinsworth show with Frank Reich. They were chopping it up, but, shout out to him. But, he's the one I got this from. So, all it takes is that one run from Carson Wentz, and it's going to take that. It's going to take that minds of defense. They're always going to be watching Carson Wentz too, which is going to improve the run game even more, which will even improve the pass game even more. Carson Wentz is going to add a lot to this red zone offense I started talking about earlier, but I kind of drifted away from it. But, Carson Wentz being able to run in the red zone is going to be a huge upside. It's going to make the red zone offense a lot better. I'm really excited for this offense. So will Carson Wentz lead the Colts to the playoffs? And then you have the defense. I didn't talk about defense a lot. I think the defense is going to be solid. We got those two pass rushers from the draft. We got a guy in Sean Davis in the draft, very hard to hinder. I'm not saying he is Bob Sanders, but he reminds you of Bob Sanders, just the way he plays and his love for the game. And then we have solid corners. We have Rocky Sin, we have Xavier Rhodes, we have Marvell Tell coming back, Isaiah Rodgers, Kenny Moore, all very capable guys that can really step in. And then we re-signed T.J. Carey. So I think this cornerback group is pretty good. And then the addition of the new edge rushers are going to make the jobs even easier on them. And then the safeties are young and very solid. You have Julian Blackmon, very good start to the season. He stepped in for Malik. And then you have Corey Willis. Well, Corey Willis, he has been an amazing safety for a fourth-round safety. And then the linebackers, you have Anthony Walker, Bobby Okereke, you have E.J. Speed. You have a lot of guys, that are going to be exciting to watch on defense, and ultimately be a very good defense. So, I think Carson Wentz can lead the Colts to the playoffs. Will he? I'm not going to say he is or is not, but my prediction is that he will. It might take him a few weeks to adjust the offense, but it's Frank Reich's system, so he might not really have that much adjusting to do. And plus, this offseason, he's going to have more time to work with the guys and get prepared for the season, like Phil Rivers wasn't able to. But, I'm really excited to see what the season has in store for Colts. Colts fans, relax. We will get a left tackle. Trust the process. If Chris Ballard thought Christian Darrisaw was worth it at 21, he would have went for him. He would have taken him. But he took what he paid. He was a better guy in his eyes, and you got to trust him. You got to trust that. So, I'm really excited to see what we got in store. Carson Wentz will probably lead the Colts to the playoffs. Even in a tough division, I think we are probably the most complete team in the division. So, I thank you guys for stopping by. And once again, if you enjoyed, leave a like and a subscribe. And I'll be back next time. As always, catch you later.